Mummer. An actor in a traditional English folk play. Neat. Make something neat. Nightclothes. Clothes worn in bed. Nugatory. Formal, having no purpose or value. Oceanarium. A large seawater aquarium. Overexert. Exhaust oneself by making too much physical effort. Panpipes. A musical instrument made from a row of short pipes fixed together. Pondweed. A plant that grows in still or running water. Psittacosis. A contagious disease of birds, which can be passed, especially from parrots, to human beings as a form of pneumonia. Purloin. Formal or humorous, steal something. Spiracle. An external opening used for breathing in certain insects, fish, and other animals. Starkers. Brit. Tessitura. The range within which most musical notes of a vocal part fall. Touchtone. Having buttons that produce different sounds when pushed, rather than adial. Transhumance. The action or practice of moving livestock seasonally from one grazing ground to another. Unalike. Differing from each other, not similar. Uncongenial. Not friendly or pleasant to be with. Universalize. Make something universal, or make something available for all. Unwounded. Not wounded. White bread. Informal, bland and unchallenging in a way thought characteristic of the white middle classes. Wood turning. The activity of shaping wood with a lathe. Allopathy. The conventional treatment of disease, using drugs that have effects a lot opposite to the symptoms. Aquilegia. A garden plant bearing showy flowers with backward-pointing spurs, columbine. Bellyful. A sufficient amount to eat. Betterny. A plant of the mint family with purple flowers. Bootblack. A person who makes a living by polishing boots and shoes. Chyle. A milky fluid that drains from the small intestine into the lymphatic system during digestion. Crisp bread. A thin, crisp cracker made from crushed rye or wheat. Dematerialize. Become no longer physically present, disappear. Digestive. A drink taken before or after a meal in order to help digestion. Disputatious. Fond of having arguments. Electroplate. Coat a metal object with another metal using electrolysis. Fire trap. A building without any or enough fire exits. Fluorescence. The process of flowering. Frolicsome. Lively and playful. Hitcher. A hitchhiker. Imagism. A movement in early 20th century English and American poetry that aimed to achieve clarity of expression through the use of precise images. Incombustible. That does not burn. Enumerate. Without a basic knowledge of mathematics and arithmetic. Lappet. A fold or hanging piece of flesh in some animals. Microliter. 1/1,000,000th of a liter. Onager. A wild ass native to northern Iran. Onanism. Formal one masturbation. Outmatch. Be better than someone or something else. Overachieve. Do better than expected. Panoptic. Showing or seeing the whole of something at one view. Percale. A closely woven fine cotton fabric. Peroration. The concluding part of a speech, the summing up. Plenteous. Literary plentiful, abundant. Pool room. A commercial establishment where pool or billiard games are played. Premedication. Medication given in preparation for an operation or other treatment. Pyrography. The art or technique of decorating wood or leather by burning a design on the surface with a heated metallic point. Rabbet. A step-shaped recess cut into wood, to which the edge or tongue of another piece may be joined. Reportorial. Of or characteristic of newspaper reporters. Revivify. Give new life or strength to someone or something. Ripsaw. A coarse saw for cutting wood along the grain. Sackbut. An early form of trombone used in Renaissance music. Scabious. A plant with blue, pink, or white pincushion-shaped flowers. Snivel. Cry and sniffle. Termagant. A bad-tempered or overbearing woman. Tex-Mex. Having a blend of Mexican and Southern American features. Tunicate. Zoology, a marine invertebrate with a rubbery or hard outer coat. Ukase. Historical, a decree with the force of law, issued by the Tsarist Russian government. Undercook. Cook food for too short a time. Veracious. Formal speaking or representing the truth. Animalism. Physical and instinctive behavior, animality. Antirrhinum. A snapdragon. Bastinado. Chiefly historical, a form of punishment or torture that involves caning the soles of someone's feet. Beninese. A person from Benin, a country in West Africa. Betake. Betake oneself to, literary, go to a place. Blackshirt. A member of a fascist organization. Chock-a-block. Informal, completely full of people or things pressed close together. Convector. A heating appliance that circulates warm air by convection. Curlicue. A decorative curl or twist. Demimonde. A group of people on the fringes of respectable society. Deprave. Make someone immoral or wicked. Depressurize. Release the pressure inside a compartment or container. Disestablish. Deprive a national church of its official status. Effluence. A substance that flows out. Equestrianism. the skill or sport of horse riding. Fishwife. A woman with a loud, harsh voice. Flannelette. A cotton fabric resembling flannel. Flatfoot. Having flat feet. Folky. Informal, a singer, player, or fan of folk music. Fumarole. An opening in or near a volcano, through which hot sulfurous gases emerge. Gatepost. A post on which a gate is hinged or against which it shuts. Jig. Music, a lively piece of music in the style of a dance, typically of the Renaissance or Baroque period. Incommensurate. Incommensurate with, not in keeping, incommode, or in proportion with something. Latter day. Modern or contemporary, especially when resembling a person or thing of the past. Nanette. A group of 9 people or things. Nonproductive. Not producing or able to produce something. Onomastic. Relating to the study of the history and origin of proper names. Post-punk. A style of rock music inspired by punk but less aggressive in performance and musically more experimental. Sandfly. A small biting fly of tropical and subtropical regions that transmits a number of diseases. Chasse. A straight downhill run on skis. Shrink-wrap. Package an object in clinging plastic film. Slivovitz. A type of plum brandy made chiefly in the former Yugoslavia and in Romania. Spirogyra. A type of algae consisting of long green threads. Toxin. Old, use an alarm bell or signal. Triacetate. A form of cellulose acetate used as a basis for synthetic fibers. Unbundle. Market or charge for items or services separately rather than as part of a package. Unclad. Not wearing any clothes, naked. Underreport. Fail to report news or data fully. Underwhelm. Humorous, fail to impress or make a positive impact on someone. Vaunt. Boast about or praise. Viaticum. In the Christian Church, the Eucharist is given to a person who is dying or in danger of death. War-torn. Racked or devastated by war. Whatchamacallit. Informal, a person or thing whose name one has forgotten, does not know, or does not wish to mention. Write-off. A worthless or ineffectual person or thing. Asperity. Harshness of tone or manner. Backslapping. The offering of hearty congratulations or praise. Beretta. A square cap with 3 flat projections on top, worn by Roman Catholic clergymen. Cambric. A lightweight, closely woven white linen or cotton fabric. Cardiogram. A record of muscle activity within the heart made by a cardiograph. Childbed. Old use, childbirth. Clunk. A loud sound made by heavy things hitting each other. Correspondent. A person named in a divorce case as having committed adultery with the husband or wife of the person who wants a divorce. Corncrake. A crake inhabiting coarse grasslands, with a distinctive rasping call. Cosset. Care for and protect someone in an overindulgent way. Dandified. Excessively concerned about his clothes and appearance. Defrock. Officially remove a member of the Christian clergy from their job because of wrongdoing. Desiccate. Remove the moisture from something. Drive-a-bee. Of a shooting or other act, carried out from a passing vehicle. Elver. A young eel. Eyeshot. The distance for which one can see. Feeble-minded. Foolish, stupid. Flocculent. Having or resembling tufts of wool. Gallivant. Informal go from place to place enjoying oneself. Gemsbok. A large African antelope with black and white head markings and long straight horns. Honey trap. A plan in which an attractive person entices another person into eating information or doing something unwise. Hostler. A man employed at an inn to look after customers' horses. Inbreed. Often as an inbreeding, breed from closely related people or animals. Insalubrious. Not clean or well kept, seedy or squalid. Inveigh. Speak or write about someone with great hostility. Jam-packed. Informal, extremely crowded or full to capacity. Jand. The part of the Earth's surface that is not covered by water. Kwashiorkor. A form of malnutrition caused by a lack of protein in the diet, typically affecting young children in certain parts of Africa. Lickspittle. A person who behaves with excessive obedience to those in power. Mishear. Fail to hear a person or their words correctly. Ophthalmia. Inflammation of the eye, especially conjunctivitis. Osmoregulation. Biology, the control of water content and salt concentration in the body of an organism. Overarm. An adverb done with the arm moving above the level of the shoulder. Perambulator. Dated a baby carriage. Portamento. Music, a slide from one note to another, especially in singing or playing the violin. Refection. Literary or old use one, the process of refreshing oneself by eating or drinking. Shirt tail. The curved part of a shirt that comes below the waist. Sure-footed. Unlikely to stumble or slip. Tabulator. A facility in a word processing program, or a device on a typewriter, for advancing to set positions when producing tables of data. Taximeter. A device used in taxis that automatically records the distance traveled and the fare to be paid. Telephonist. Brit. Top-up. Brit. Truckle. Submit or behave obsequiously. Übermensch. The ideal superior man of the future who could rise above conventional Christian morality to create and impose his own values. Usherette. A woman who shows people to their seats in a theater. Auspice. with the support or protection of. Autosuggestion. The hypnotic or subconscious adoption of an idea that one has originated oneself. Bathysphere. A manned spherical vessel for deep-sea observation. Bestride. Have a leg on either side of something. Blenny. A small sea fish with spiny fins and a scaleless skin. Carambola. A golden yellow fruit with a star-shaped cross-section, star fruit. Shanty. Variant spelling of chanty. Diaconal. Relating to a deacon or deacons. Dry suit. A waterproof rubber suit for water sports, under which warm clothes can be worn. End paper. A leaf of paper at the beginning or end of a book, fixed to the inside of the cover. Enfeeble. Weaken someone or something. Featherlight. Extremely light. Gadzooks. Old use expressing surprise or annoyance. Gerfalcon. A large Arctic falcon, with mainly gray or white plumage. Hitlerian. Relating to or characteristic of the Austrian-born Nazi leader and Chancellor of Germany, Adolf Hitler. Iamb. Poetry, a metrical foot consisting of one short, or unstressed, syllable followed by one long, or stressed, syllable. Jocund. Formal, cheerful and light-hearted. Kneeler. A cushion or bench for kneeling on. Limekiln. A kiln for burning limestone to produce quicklime. Liverwort. A small flowerless green plant that grows in moist habitats. Longways. Lengthwise. Masticate. Chew food. Metonym. A word or phrase used as a substitute for something with which it is closely associated, e.g., Washington for the U.S. government. Millennialism. Another term for millenarianism. Mudflap. A flap hung behind the wheel of a vehicle to protect against mud and stones thrown up from the road. Mulish. Stubborn, like a mule. Mole male. Muscadet. A dry white wine from the Loire region of France. Muumuu. A loose, brightly colored dress as traditionally worn by Hawaiian women. Niggard. A miserly person. Nosegay. A small bunch of flowers. Partygoer. A person who goes to a party. Postcoital. Occurring or done after sex. Proprietorial. Behaving as if one owns someone or something, possessive. Quickset. Brit. Retsina. A Greek white wine flavored with resin. Rock bottom. At the lowest possible level. Shavian. Relating to or in the style of the Irish dramatist George Bernard Shaw. Small time. Informal, unimportant, minor. Stairlift. A lift in the form of a chair that can be raised or lowered at the edge of a staircase. Technophobe. A person who dislikes or fears new technology. Textuality. The quality or use of language that is typical of written works as distinct from spoken usage. Throughway. Another spelling of throughway. Throve/rxrev/ past of thrive. Throw/rhr6/p verb, passed through/thr60/ past part. Thumbscrew. An instrument of torture that crushes the thumbs. Unputdownable. Informal, of a book, so absorbing that one cannot stop reading it. Unversed. Not experienced or skilled in. Wiseacre. A person who pretends to be wise or knowledgeable. Aslant. And preposition at or across at a slant. Benison. Literary a blessing. Bilharzia. A disease caused by infestation of the body with a type of parasitic flatworm. Carabinier. A member of the Italian paramilitary police. Catchword. A frequently used word or phrase that is associated with or encapsulates a particular thing. Complacent. Willing to please others or to accept their behavior without protest. Dentifrice. A paste or powder for cleaning the teeth. Disenchant. Make someone disillusioned. Dotterel. A small migratory plover, bird. Duenna. An older woman acting as a governess and chaperone to girls in a Spanish family. Exhilarate. Make someone feel very happy or full of energy. Man. Informal an FBI agent. Gun cotton. An explosive made by steeping cotton or wood pulp in a mixture of nitric and sulfuric acids. High-handed. Using one's authority forcefully and without considering the feelings of other people. Horehound. A plant of the mint horizon family, traditionally used as a medicinal herb. Mayn't. May not. Merguez. A spicy beef and jam sausage colored with red peppers, originally made in North Africa. Miscount. Count something incorrectly. Mizuna. A Japanese plant of the rape family, with leaves that are eaten in salads. Overexpose. Subject photographic film to too much light. Parboil. Partly cook something by boiling it. Pulchritude. Literary beauty. Sexagenarian. A person between 60 and 69 years old. Shirt dress. A dress with a collar and button fastening in the style of a shirt, without a seam at the waist. Soft-hearted. Kind, caring and sympathetic. Trumpery. Old use showy but worthless. Unbend. Make or become straight. Unsayable. Not able to be said, especially because considered too controversial or offensive. Unswayed. Not influenced or affected. Villain. A poor man who had to work for a lord in return for a small piece of land on which to grow food. Xerography. A dry copying process in which powder sticks to parts of a surface remaining electrically charged after being exposed to light from an image of the document to be copied. Amerasian. Having one American and one Asian parent. Bastardize. Make something impure by adding new elements. Blow dry. Dry the hair with a handheld dryer, arranging it into a particular style. Bogey. Variant spelling of bogey. Boulevardier. A wealthy, fashionable person who is fond of social activities. Bryophyte. Any of a division of small, simple plants that comprises the mosses and liverworts. Depoliticize. Remove something from political activity or influence. Entr'acte. An interval between two acts of a play or opera. Ericaceous. Relating to plants of the heather family. Foulard. A thin, soft material of silk or silk and cotton. Hard-hearted. Unsympathetic or uncaring. Hominoid. Zoology, a primate of a group that includes humans, their fossil ancestors, and the great apes. Hortatory. Formal, strongly urging someone to do something. Iconology. The study of visual imagery and its symbolism and interpretation, especially in social or political terms. Idiolect. The way that a particular person uses language. Imprecation. Formal, a spoken curse. Incommunicable. Not able to be communicated to others. Leisure wear. Casual clothes worn for leisure activities. Logrolling. Informal, the practice of exchanging favors, especially in politics. Point to a sport in which two contestants stand on a floating log and try to knock each other off by spinning it with their feet. Ordure. Excrement or dung. Outfight. Fight better than and beat an opponent. Pairings. Thin strips paired off from something. Peccadillo. A minor fault. Philippic. A bitter verbal attack. Poltroon. Old use, a coward. Polyanthus. A flowering garden plant that is a hybrid of the wild primrose. Protract. Make something longer than expected or normal. Provitamin. A substance that is converted into a vitamin within an organism. Punch card. A perforated card used to control the operation of a machine or, formerly, to program computers. Rorqual. A whale of a small group with pleated skin on the underside, e.g., the blue whale. Roughen. Make or become rough. Scaremonger. A person who spreads frightening rumors. Snowline. The altitude above which some snow remains on the ground throughout the year. Spermatozoon. The male sex cell of an animal, which fertilizes the ovum, female reproductive cell. Spinneret. An organ through which. Stock still. Without any movement, completely still. Underachieve. Do less well than is expected. Venturesome. Willing to do something risky or difficult. Vichyssoise. A soup made with potatoes, leeks, and cream and 1460 victorious typically served chilled. Wall covering. Material such as wallpaper used as a decorative covering for interior walls. Wump. A dull thud. Abutilon. An herbaceous plant or shrub with showy yellow, red, or mauve flowers. Armload. The amount that can be carried with one arm or in both arms. Caddisfly. A small winged insect having larvae that live in water and build cases of sticks, stones, etc. Canoodle. Informal kiss and cuddle amorously. Chyme. The fluid that passes from the stomach to the small intestine, consisting of gastric juices and partly digested food. Cineraria. A winter flowering plant of the daisy family. Clapperboard. Hinged boards that are struck together at the beginning of fitming to enable the picture and sound to be synchronized during editing. Deracinated. Displaced from one's environment. Drowse. Be half asleep, doze. Drub. Beat repeatedly. Fermata. Music, a pause of unspecified length on a note or rest, or the mark that designates this. Flextime. A system by which employees work an agreed total number of hours but have some flexibility as to when they start and finish work each day. Flummox. Informal, baffle or bewilder someone. Furbish. Give a fresh look to something old or shabby, renovate. Get-go. Informal, the very beginning. Gymnosperm. A plant of a large group that have seeds that are not protected by an ovary or fruit, such as conifers. Harvestman. Another term for daddy longlegs. Harvest moon. Harvestman. Gather a crop as a harvest. Hepcat. Informal, dated a stylish or fashionable person. Hyperemia. An excess of blood in the vessels supplying an organ or other part of the body. Locknut. A nut screwed down on another to keep it tight. Marrowbone. A bone containing edible marrow. Millenarianism. The belief in a future 1,000-year age of blessedness, beginning with or culminating in the second coming of Jesus. Morganatic. Between a man of high rank and a woman of low rank who keeps her former status, their children having no claim to the father's possessions or title. Non-intervention. The policy of not becoming involved in the affairs of other countries. Non-slip. Designed to prevent slipping. Off-white. A white color with a gray or yellowish tinge. Orangeade. A soft drink flavored with orange. Ossify. Turn into bone or bony tissue. Oxyacetylene. Using a very hot flame produced by mixing acetylene and oxygen. Phylactery. A small leather box containing biblical passages written in Hebrew, worn by Jewish men at morning prayer. Politesse. Formal politeness. Ptomaine. Any of a group of organic compounds with an unpleasant taste and smell formed in decaying animal and vegetable matter. Retie. Tie something again. Self-confidence. A feeling of trust in one's abilities, qualities, and judgment. Shelduck. A large goose-like duck with brightly colored plumage. Snappish. Informal, irritable, snappy. Spikenard. Historical and expensive perfumed ointment made from the rhizome, underground stem, of a Himalayan plant. Squill. Also see squill, a Mediterranean plant with broad leaves and white flowers. Stonecrop. A plant with star-shaped yellow or white flowers that grows among rocks or on walls. Stratocumulus. Cloud forming a low layer of clumped or broken gray masses. Thimbleful. A small quantity of something. Uncombed. Not combed. Unhand. Old use or humorous release someone from one's grasp. Unworried. Not worried or anxious. Adjure. Formal, solemnly urge someone to do something. Barnstorm. Tour rural districts putting on shows or giving flying displays. Betoken. Literary, be a warning or sign of. Coiffeur. 00Z-FAR-Z/ a hairdresser. Coltsfoot. A plant with yellow flowers and large heart-shaped leaves. Diametrical. Complete. Egg beater. A kitchen utensil used for beating ingredients such as eggs or cream. Emblazon. Display a design on something in a noticeable way. Escalope. A thin slice of meat, especially veal, coated in breadcrumbs and fried. Fireguard. A protective screen or grid in front of an open fire. Gabfest. Informal for a conference or other gathering with prolonged talking. Heptagon. A plane figure with 7 straight sides and angles. High grade. Of very good quality. Jalousie. A blind or shutter made of a row of angled slats. Micropayment. A very small payment made each time a user accesses an internet page or service. Non-interference. Failure or refusal to intervene, especially in political matters. Octoroon. Dated, often offensive, a person who is 1/8 black by descent. Otiose. Serving no practical purpose, pointless. Overawe. Impress someone so much that they are silent or nervous. Overoptimistic. Having a feeling of optimism about something that is unlikely to be justified. Palliate. Make the symptoms of a disease less severe without curing it. Peahen. A female peafowl, which has mainly brown plumage and a shorter tail than a peacock. Perambulate. Formal, chiefly Brit. Phytoestrogen. A substance found in certain plants which can produce effects like that of the hormone estrogen when ingested. Pianism. Skill or artistry in playing the piano or composing music for the piano. Prognosticate. Make a forecast about a future event. Pyracantha. A thorny evergreen shrub with white flowers and bright red or yellow berries. Recrudescence. Formal a renewed outbreak or occurrence of something. Sawbuck. A sawhorse. Seicento. The style of Italian art and literature of the 17th century. Slam dance. A form of dancing to rock music in which the dancers deliberately collide with one another. Spoonerism. An error in speech in which the initial sounds or letters of two or more words are accidentally swapped around, as in "You have hissed the mystery lectures." Synth. Made by chemical synthesis, especially to imitate a natural product. True blue. Very loyal or traditional. Ultramontane. In the Roman Catholic Church, believing that the Pope should have supreme authority in matters of faith and discipline. Urbanize. Build towns and cities in a country area. Valorize. Give value or validity to. Work shy. Unwilling to work. Aglet. A metal or plastic tube fixed around each end of a shoelace. Arthroscope. Medicine and instrument through which the interior of a joint may be inspected or operated on. Barouche. Historical, a four-wheeled horse-drawn carriage with a collapsible hood over the rear half. Bestir. Bestir oneself, make a physical or mental effort, rouse oneself to activity. Biowarfare. Biological warfare. Capellini. Pasta in the form of very thin strands. Cineast. A person who is fond of or knowledgeable about movies or filmmaking. Circularize. Distribute circulars to a large number of people. Citified. Chiefly derogatory characteristic of a city. Cop-out. Informal, an instance of avoiding a commitment or responsibility. Defragment. Computing, reduce the fragmentation of a file or set of files by concatenating parts stored in separate locations on a disk. Deodorize. Remove or conceal an unpleasant smell in a place. Descry. Literary catch sight of someone or something. Disinter. Dig up something buried. Djiboutian. A person from Djibouti, a country on the northeast coast of Africa. Dog catcher. A person whose job is to round up stray dogs. Eye-opener. Informal, an event or situation that proves to be unexpectedly revealing. Gametogenesis. Biology, the formation of gametes from gametocytes. Grapnel. A device with iron claws, attached to a rope and used for dragging or grasping. Gravimeter. An instrument for measuring the force of gravity at different places. Grotesquerie. The quality of being grotesque, or things that are grotesque. Jibe. And noun, British spelling of S1B? Irremovable. Not able to be removed. Jabot. An ornamental ruffle on the front of a shirt or blouse. Joyful. Feeling or causing great pleasure or happiness. Life belt. A life preserver in the shape of a belt. Lobotomize. Perform a lobotomy on someone. Manumit. Historical free someone from slavery. Overlock. Prevent fraying of an edge of cloth by oversewing it. Postbellum. Occurring or existing after a war, in particular the American Civil War. Quiddity. The essential nature of a person or thing. Ruche. A frill or pleat of fabric. Secrétaire. A small writing desk. Self-awareness. Conscious knowledge and understanding of one's own character, feelings, and motives. Shattuck. Another term for pomelo. Soundbox. The hollow chamber that forms the body of a stringed instrument and makes the sound resonate. Sunlamp. A lamp giving off ultraviolet rays, used chiefly to produce an artificial suntan. Trifid. Technical, a part of a plant or animal, divided into 3 parts by a deep cleft. Unassertive. Not having or showing a confident and forceful personality. Unostentatious. Not ostentatious or showy. Unshelled. Not extracted from its shell. Untaught. Not having been taught or educated. Upholster. Provide a sofa, chair, etc., with a soft, padded covering. Votary. A person who has taken vows to dedicate their life to God or religious service. Acculturate. Successfully absorb someone or something into a different culture or social group. Antsy. And pronoun one or some of a thing or things, no matter how much or how many. Antitussive. A drug or other preparation that cures or relieves a cough. Bibulous. Formal very fond of drinking alcohol. Billhook. A tool with a curved blade, used for pruning. Blackfly. A small black fly that sucks blood and can transmit diseases. Blue chip. Considered to be a reliable investment. Chapati. In Indian cooking, a flat cake of wholemeal bread cooked on a griddle. Chordate. An animal of a large group, including all the vertebrates, with a skeletal rod of cartilage supporting the body. Detune. Cause a musical instrument to become out of tune. Disobliging. Unwilling to help or cooperate. Espadrille. A light canvas shoe with a sole made of rope or rubber molded to look like rope. Gloxinia. A tropical American plant with large, velvety, bell-shaped flowers. Kirtle. Old use on a woman's gown or outer petticoat. Maraud. Go about in search of goods to steal or people to attack. Milksop. A timid and indecisive person. Narrow-minded. Unwilling to listen to or accept the views of other people. Old-time. Relating to or typical of the past. Panjandrum. A pompous, self-important person in a position of authority. Pickaninny. Offense of a small black child.